The views and opinions expressed by the host do not necessarily state or reflect those of the company and its management. Furthermore, the views and opinions of the guest do not reflect those of the host, the show, the management, and the network.
Mabuhay! You're in the right channel, TLC. And of course, this is Lee on Motivational Lee. I would like to ask you, do you still have the strong visions in life? And what are those? And how old are you, by the way? Do you still dream of going to a different country just to study, perhaps? Live, work, or just visit? It doesn't really matter. Let's make things happen because you're in the right channel. Obviously, it is great to migrate with Lee every Friday, 7 p.m. AEST Melbourne time. And of course, it's 5 p.m. in the Philippines. Wherever you are, please adjust. So catch me. Don't forget every Friday the different visas and testimonies as well when it comes to migration. So see you then. Let's talk. Bye.
Hello, once again, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to each one of you, wherever you are. Thank you so much for dropping by and for keeping us company. I'm so happy. This is our second episode. Our second stop would be Life After Migration, of course, with Rain Cabral and Preet Man. Only here on TLC. It's great to migrate with Lee, obviously, and I would like to maybe ask everyone, how are you today? Are you all okay? It's Friday. That we always say here in Australia, it's Friday. We're always happy because it's going to be a long, kind of a long weekend, although it's going to be short. But we're all looking forward for the weekend, right? So how about you guys out there? Are you all looking forward for the weekend? What are your plans? Yes. And with the plans right now, having said that, have you ever thought of migrating or moving to a different country with different culture? What are your thoughts at this time? How old are you? As what I have mentioned a while ago on that video. It's not too late to migrate as long as you start now, act now, because this is the right time for you to chase your dream, ladies and gentlemen. And don't forget that Way to Oz is always here to assist you, whatever visas you need for us to help you and assist you as well. Now, at this time, it is very important that we all focus on today because it's so nice that we have heard about or we have learned so much about last week's our first episode on the 1st of October. It's all about the visa when it comes to student visa subclass 500, right? We've learned so much from Niti last week. And now, today, this evening, well, it's evening here in Melbourne, anyways, we would love to hear from our special guest this evening about their journey. It's all about the journey, right? It's all about the journey and also finding your life's purpose. And without further ado, I would love I would like to present to you one of our guests because we're still waiting for the other one because we've got different time zones here. So I hope she'll be here soon. But I would like you to meet our one of our special guests this evening. I'm very proud of her, and I'm so happy that she said yes today in order for her to share her journey, life after migration. Ladies and gentlemen, how about three big claps for Rain Cabral? Hey, Rain, how are
Hi
you?
Lee, how are you?
I'm
Magandang
doing good.
gabi sa inyong lahat.
Magandang
Good
gabi
evening
sa lahat,
everyone.
mabuhay, right?
Buhay.
I'm hope a lot of Filipinos are watching right now, obviously, and for those who are in India, Sri Lanka, Nepal, I believe when they say it's Namaste, right? Namaste. And for in Singapore or maybe in China, if you speak Chinese, the only word I can say is Ni hao ma. So at least I can say a little bit of that, right? So I hope you're all good. And in Japan, for those who are televiewers as well in Japan. I would like to say, what's good evening in Japan? Maybe just moshe moshe. That's all I can say. Anyways, Bibo is here. Brother Bibo, thank you so much for tuning in. Right, Rain. I'm
Yeah,
sure you're excited for today, right?
yeah,
And
of
I just want
course,
to
very
ask you,
excited.
how's everything? I'm sure you've been busy for the
Yeah,
past few days.
everything's good. I mean, as good as it can be. Being on the lockdown. the longest time, the longest city in the world being locked down, as I'm sure
That's
you
true.
you also understand, Lee. So just really looking at the positives every day. I know we're in the middle of a pandemic, but hopefully there's light at the end of the tunnel. So just really wanting to get everyone to continue to keep safe and just live every day. One breath at a time, as they say.
True. I
Yeah.
love that attitude, Rain. I love that attitude. And
Yeah.
and I'm sure you're very young. I can see you're almost like let me guess first. 18, 20,
No, no,
22,
definitely
maximum
closer to
22, 23,
40. Closer to 40.
33.
No, older. So
Oh,
yeah,
no. Okay.
30,
That's okay. It's
36.
only the age. It's only a number, right? Age is just a number. So,
36.
whatever our age right now, let's just be happy. We've got that number. And as long
Mm,
as we continue to thrive and be happy and contented with what we've got, right? Wherever we are, whether we are in our
yeah.
original country or we've migrated, as long as we're happy and we're giving back and pay it forward, I think that's what matters most at this time. So, Rain,
Mm,
I know
yeah.
Navpreet is on her way right now.
Yes.
And we'll just keep talking right now, right? Like it's nice to
No,
really
that's
get
fine.
to know
Yeah,
one
sure.
another. Good.
Yeah.
Now, Rain, why Australia, Rain?
Um, because it was closest to the Philippines, so it's only an
Good.
8-hour plane ride away. So I'm originally from Naga City, from Bicol, and I grew up
Oh,
there. I
Bicol.
spent most of my childhood in Naga. So childhood and high school years was in Naga, so the Bicol region.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to Manila for a little bit to study for college. And if you actually take a trip, a road trip from Naga to Manila, it's only about 8 hours, well, 12 hours if you have a few stops along the way. So it's an 8-hour trip. So the way that I actually came to Australia was my college back then, Miriam College, had an exchange student program with RMIT. So this was
Mm,
in 2005, so a long time ago. So, and as part of that program, I was doing a course called International Studies back then. And it was part of the curriculum that we had an exchange student program with RMIT and Miriam. So the two schools
mm-hmm.
connected, and that's how I ended up in Australia originally. So,
Wow.
and I think that took a lot of convincing on my dad's part. He was very against. He was very old school, very conservative, and because I came from a small town, when I
Mm-hmm.
was when I was living there, it was a small town, but now obviously through everything else, Naga has become bigger and better and more cosmopolitan than what it is. But back then, it was a small town where everyone sort of knew everyone, and it took a while. My dad didn't want me to go for obvious reasons. I was his eldest daughter. I was, a girl. He didn't want to um, he wanted to protect me. I think that's the common thing
Yeah.
about Filipino parents, just really wanting to protect their children. So,
Can sympathize with
I
you.
yes, correct. And then, but my mom, mummy, hi ma, if you're watching, she's in America right
Hello.
now. So
Is
hopefully,
she? What's her name? What's her name?
I sent her. Sorry, was that Lee?
What's her name again? Sorry. Your
Marion,
mom's name?
Marion, yeah,
Marian,
Marion.
Tita Marian, mabuhay.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
So she was the one who convinced my dad to let me study, let me go. Um, and yes, that's how I ended up on my first, I guess, independent trip with a
Whew,
few school friends of
independence.
mine. I don't know, we won. Mum and I somehow persuaded daddy to say yes.
There you
And
go.
from then I think it was July of 2005 when I first came
Mm-hmm.
to Australia. So I was very fortunate to have that opportunity, and definitely it was only because I had really, really supportive parents that allowed me to spread my wings and be independent and
Good.
be
Good
and
on you.
find out who I am outside of being a daughter of my mom and dad, or being, a sister, or being a friend. I just had the opportunity, and I'm sure that would have been the same for you, Lee. Like, if you had the opportunity to actually go and be in a place that's quite foreign, you get to know yourself as well as your new environment. You get to know really what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, how you
True.
interact with the world when you don't have a support system. So
Love
um
that.
that was, as I've said, that was an adventure for me. What I haven't told you, that I don't think I have, actually. What I haven't told you, though, it was 20
That's
days.
okay. You can tell me now.
Yeah, I can tell
No
you
one will
now.
know. No one will
20
know. It's
20
just us in the
days.
world.
Yeah, 20 days after I arrived in Melbourne, my dad
Mhm.
passed away. So that was sort of, yeah, that was the a pivotal moment for me. It's very sad. It's was catastrophic for my family. And that's when, the things, as they say, life happens when you're busy making plans. So it definitely wasn't part of the plan.
Mhm.
But yeah, so that was the biggest curveball of my life. Here I was literally 20 years old in a foreign country, less than a month in, and I had no idea what to do.
Mhm.
But I think that, that experience really made me stronger,
Mhm.
really bonded us as a family, because I'm the eldest in seven children. So it
Okay.
was, as I've said, it wasn't difficult. It was a very, very difficult time. And I know, as international students or exchange students, and with all the requirements of, even back then with the visas, that you definitely had to have the financial support available to you. So
Yeah.
at that time, we did have that. But when that death happened in my family, everything had to um, be pushed on the wayside, and all the plans that we had, and
Yeah.
everything else had to dramatically change overnight. So it was
Wow.
a very uh, difficult time in all our lives. So I went back home after I finished the exchange program.
Mhm.
And it was quite, we had, my mum and I had a bit of a sit down, mainly because at that time my youngest brother was only 6 years old. So there was a lot of, um, I guess, future planning, or a way of thinking of other options for me. So there was an option to work at a call center for me, so that I could support
Mhm.
the family. But
Family.
the way that it turned out, there were still six of us, or six of my siblings were still all in school, from uni down to um, prep at that time, prep
Okay.
of grade one. So it was a very hard decision for the
Mhm.
family. And then that's when
Wow.
I decided with my mum that to, I guess, gamble, to pray, and to have and take the calculated risk to come back to Australia, because at that time my exchange
Mm.
visa wasn't set to expire until February the following year. Mainly because we had at that time. So I with prayers, and a lot of help and support, and a wonderful community here in Melbourne,
Sure.
um, I was able to come back with the help of the Holy Redeemer community. So it was
Nice.
really a very tough time for me, and for the family. But we somehow made it work through the generosity of the Filipino Australian community. I don't
Yeah.
think I wouldn't be where I am today if not for all the
Mhm.
people who continuously helped and
That's
really
good.
gave without judgment. I think that a lot of back then, um, there were less international students. It's not as popular
As
as it
now.
is
Yeah.
now,
The recent
because
one. Yeah. True.
but I think as well that everyone in the Filipinos in Victoria had a migrant, everyone had their own migration story, be it from being sponsored by relatives or coming as skilled workers or coming as, with all the different visa pathways, as I'm sure you're aware of. And
Sure.
so
Yeah.
there's a lot of pathways there. But the main thing for me, and this is something that I know is very highly unusual or it's a miracle actually when you think about it, is I was able to extend my visa and actually get a new, I ended up applying for a student visa, the 500 visa subclass. I think it was
The subclass
five,
500 student visa.
yeah, now it was like 572 or something like that. I
Okay.
can't
Oh, yeah,
remember
they
the
changed.
different subclasses back then before they made it into just a single 500 now. And I ended up enrolling at RMIT as an international business student. And at that time, you could still do face-to-face applications. So I remember going into the pink building at Lonsdale Street, right?
Yeah.
And there's actually a case officer evaluating all your papers, making sure that your COE is right. Like you have to physically submit all your paperwork. There wasn't the electronic system as it is now, as I understand it. But before, everything was done on paper, and you have to have the support of the consulate for the necessary documentation and everything else. So I was my heart was palpitating really hard at that time, mainly because all the paperwork that I did have for bank statements and everything else was still when my dad was alive, right? Because it was still so. But I said, you know what? I'm just gonna go, and if it's God's will, if it's God's plan, then things would be smooth and things will work out. So
And it did, Rain. It did, right?
it did. Yes, it did. I actually got my visa pretty much. They gave me my visa right after the interview. So that was how fast the processing time was, which is, when I think about it, there were other students who were also international students at that time. It was quite unheard of to get a visa that fast even then. So I think that was divine intervention for sure. So that was, and that's how I ended up here. So and it's definitely with everyone's support. I didn't have, I always say this, I only had $100 in my pocket when I came back to Australia in February of 2006. And the rest was, people and everyone saying that, don't say our names, etc. So they know who they are. But
the generous people.
It's definitely I come from a very generous and God-fearing community who helped me, and there's countless people who have heard my story and really, be it prayers, financial assistance, or anything else, they're the ones who were there for me every step of the way. So so I think that's a miraculous, I guess, migration story, Lee.
Yeah, that's a win-win, right? It's a winning moment.
Definitely a win. But I don't think if people were to ask me now if I was to do it again, at my age, I wouldn't think so. Mainly because the older that we get, the more risk averse we are, the less of a risk we wanted to take. But at that time, I really had no other, I guess I had that this was this was the opportunity for me and my family to have a better future. So
good.
Yeah,
it's good to take the risk, right? And congratulations for all the winning moments from this smart girl from Naga and all these different
I don't know about smart, but definitely a girl from Naga.
Look at you now. You look at you now, very stable, and you are inspiring people. And for those who have just tuned in, we are on our second episode, which is Life After Migration. It's about the journey and of course, finding oneself, like life's purpose. And here, Rain here is just sharing her beautiful story and very humble beginning. And thank God that there are people out there, not just fellows, but who are willing to help people who are like Rain, starting in in a in a country that you're not used to, in a different culture as well. And I can't wait to hear from Navpreet as well, because Navpreet is here.
Oh,
Navpreet, are you
awesome.
here,
Hi,
Navpreet? Where
Navpreet.
are you, Navpreet? She was here a while ago. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to meet Navpreet Man. She's from India. Good evening. She's in a different state as I believe so. Hang on a second. Hi, Navpreet. Namaste.
Hello.
Hi,
How's it
Navpreet.
going?
Nice to
I'm
meet
good.
you.
Good to
Good.
see you. I would like you to meet Rain as well. Rain here has
Hi.
been, yeah, has been enjoying her journey so far since 2005.
Yeah,
Now, Navpreet, we can't wait to hear from you.
yeah.
Okay, we've met before, of course, but I would like to hear from you about your journey, right? So let's start with why Australia? Why Australia? Please, thank you.
Because the only thing, so I chose 2 countries to go, which was Canada and Australia. So I chose Australia because the weather is like India. So I chose because Canada is like more of a snowy, which I have never experienced in India, where I
Mm-hmm.
live in North.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I've my family here. My family was already
Good.
here, whereas I had no one like, known in Canada. And
Mm-hmm.
then think because one of the couple unis visited us back in India, like UniSA, Flinders Uni,
That's right.
for an interview, and there was for Canada as well. So I liked UniSA, and I
Yes.
got chose and I got admission like in a month. So that was the reason that I chose Australia, because I
Mm-hmm.
liked the
Good.
uni, the place where it was.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I had my family and the flexibility of the uni.
Sure. One of the best unis in Adelaide,
Yeah,
you know.
Adelaide, yeah, and it's in the city.
That's good.
Yeah, so because it's a small city where I live,
Easy
Adelaide,
to
but
understand. Yes.
if you want to start the beginning, I think it's a very good place to start South Australia.
That's right. Well, I
Yeah,
started there too, right?
yeah. So
And
I
then moved
chose
here.
Australia for the weather because it's similar to India, and
Nice.
my parents loved Australia too because of the weather, and then because we have a lot of Indian community here anyway,
Yes,
and
there are a lot.
it's multicultural country. There's a lot of
Definitely.
diversity, and they do
Mm-hmm.
welcome migrants. Exploring. So yeah, that's why I chose Australia, and I'm lucky that I studied in UniSA and I studied in Australia.
And you've got good teachers in UniSA?
Yeah, like Lee, of course. She was my
Of course.
third year clinical facilitator. We really enjoyed, and
Thank you.
I think it was my final placement for my third year,
Yeah.
and I was
And you
just about to
passed,
become.
right?
Yeah,
Good.
I loved it. Even now, after being an RN for almost 3 to 4 years, everyone says, "Oh, which ward do you prefer?" I'm like, I love plastics and reconstructive ward because I
Good.
just love the stuff there. And that was my final placement, and Lee was my clinical facilitator.
Yeah.
She's a really, really good educator. As
Thank you.
educator,
Thank
she's a
you.
really good teacher. Yeah,
I'll give you 5 stars for that, okay?
yeah,
I'll send you
yeah,
the check later, okay?
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
thank
she's
you for
really
that.
good. Yeah,
I'm speechless now. Okay. Don't
yeah,
expect too much, guys. Okay. But thanks for that, Navpreet. And I'm pretty sure that, after that journey, during your studying, there was ups and downs, of course, when
a
you're
lot.
studying in a different country as well.
Yeah,
It's all these essays, right? And
yeah,
the
assignments.
placement. Yeah,
And
I know. But at
yeah,
least you were able to surpass everything. Good
yeah,
job.
and then when, because the education system is so different from India here, and you're coming right from the high school to the university when you haven't never experienced the uni experience,
Hmm.
and
That's right.
I was reluctant. I was like, because my parents paid that much of fee, which is too much, being an international student.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna do it. like the essays,
Why
the
not?
assignments, and you know how we have the Harvard referencing system, and then never heard of that before. Learn a lot of things, but you meet people around from different countries, and you
They're
make ended up
supportive.
in the groups in the class, and they're so helpful. The teachers are so helpful. You get together, you
That's
make
right.
your own groups for each class, and you just do your assignments in a group, and then you make groups on your messenger that, you know, I'm struggling here, can you help me out? And then you
Definitely.
can help them where they're struggling. So yeah, so I think I love my student life more.
Not the essay though,
Um,
yeah. There's so much
not
essay.
not the essays, yeah,
So much essays for me as well to check, but that's
essays,
fine. I'm so happy that
yeah.
you are
But I
sailing well with your
passed,
life.
yeah. But I passed,
Yeah,
which
that's good.
is
Of
which is
course,
great.
of course. I'm
Um,
very proud of you. Very proud of you, Navpreet. And
yeah.
you've got your family with you, right? You've got your little girl or little boy?
It's a little boy. He's
Little
gonna be
boy,
3 in
yeah.
November.
There you go.
And also I've
Well
got my
done.
sister, younger sister here, which she
Oh
right
my
after
God,
an
yes,
year,
that's
because
good.
I was here.
Very happy to know that, to hear
Yeah,
that.
she lives across the road, and she got a little one now
Hi,
as
sister.
well. Yeah, and also he's gonna turn 2 months, like almost 2 months next week.
Next week. Wow.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
been a long
It's been
time in
it's been
Australia. I
fun.
can't believe
Yeah.
it's almost 8 years of me being here.
No, I feel like I'm old now. You see, 8 years ago, 9 years ago. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because I came in
Oh my goodness.
2014 January. Yeah,
Yeah. But I'm so glad that we've met through social media. I'm so happy. Wow, they're here and look at you guys.
yeah.
Before you're all like,
Inst-
oh my God, are we?
Instagram.
Will you be able? That's right, Instagram. The thinking of like finishing nursing and all that. And look at you now, stable and happy with the family. Even though I
Yeah,
feel like I'm old now, looking at you right now, but it's only the age, but I can really feel that, complete happiness. Well done,
yeah,
Navpreet. And
yeah.
and do you want to say hello to all your friends in India or anywhere? You can speak in your own language if you want to. I can do the
Yeah.
sign language.
Hello, everyone. Oh, sat sri akal, namaste.
There you go. Namaste.
Yeah,
All I can say is namaste. Thank you so much for
yeah,
all your like for your families who are watching right now in India and different
yeah.
parts of the world. Thank you so much, guys, for dropping by. And speaking of that, Navpreet and Rain, Ida is here as well saying hello. Migration, of course, it's great to migrate. Sister Ida and Marianne Santos is here. Says
Mm.
hello, Ninang Rain from
Hello.
Evane with a love hearts.
Mm.
And Loretta
Hi.
says, good afternoon, Coach Lee, and the guests, beautiful guests, of course. And Beng Tuazon here says, good afternoon, watching from the Philippines. Thank you so much, guys. Once
Awesome.
again, thanks for all the support on our first season. Second session two. What am I saying? Session two is all about life after migration. And Kimi as well. Kimi is here. Hi, Ate. Rain, you've got a very special message here from your sister. Hi, Ate.
Hi,
Now,
sis. Anyway, she's
now,
also
uh,
here. Yeah.
that's right. Thank you so much, Kimi, for dropping by. Now, I think 1 hour is not enough for us. Okay, before I go for my commercial, quickly, I would like to
Yeah.
hear from each one of you, Rain and Navpreet, quickly before we go for our commercial
Mhm.
break. What is the best thing that you have experienced here in Australia? Rain first.
I think the best thing is I at my family. So I met my husband here. So
Oh my goodness.
I know, yeah, I met my husband here, and that's the best thing. And obviously, if I didn't meet him, we wouldn't have our son, Kaizen, together. So
Yeah,
now,
the
great, like
mestizo.
family is everything. So that's like the best
That's right.
best thing for me, and the fact that because of Australia, most of my siblings are also now here, and we're having we're getting there. We're getting to a very a stable and comfortable life. I think that's the main thing, really, family.
That's
So
so good to know. Wow, you are really, this is like self-made success for you, Rain, right? I'm so
no,
proud of
it's
you and
God
so
and
pleased to have
and the
met you.
people around me. It's always, and Nav can also say this. It's the people around you that always are willing to support you
Yeah, yeah,
and give
True,
you
true,
the
true.
give you all the help that I wouldn't be here if not for them, really. Yeah.
yeah.
True. Wow, that's so good. Thanks, Rain. And you can continue later on if you want to blurb some more about that, Rain. Thank you.
How about you,
Awesome.
Navpreet? What's the best thing apart from being a nurse? What's the best thing
Um,
in that you have experienced when you've
um,
migrated? The here and
independent,
now, perhaps.
I've been really independent here. I
Good.
loved it. I was really dependent on my parents there. I wasn't driving, never drove back in India at all, and I never used to go to shop just to buy even a single thing. I never used to step out of the car. Um,
Wow.
my father
Like,
used to say, get this money, go. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna go. Um, I was a kid like this. Am I? Whereas, which is very ironic. My sister is very independent back in India.
mhm.
She used to drive car, a motorbike. She used to
Mm,
travel around. Whereas I was like,
you're
no,
the opposite.
opposite completely. I just don't want to go meet people at all. I just could even ask a question just to a random person, not even to a known person. I just was like, just wanted to be in my bubble, you know. Um, and this is how I was. But since I was here, when I traveled first time in the bus, my parents was so happy and shocked. Oh my God, did you go by a bus to
My
city?
little baby's now a big
Yeah.
lady.
And
Awesome.
Well
you say
done.
yeah, and yeah, I become independent, and I love the fact because in India, being a woman is, it's pretty much everywhere. That's not safe. You can't work at night, and I
Mhm.
loved, and I still love the fact in English countries, and Australia is one of them, that women can work at night. And I've been coming back from work midnight. I was in the city, and I feel sort of, I feel safe. I don't feel
Yeah,
like
good.
any guy is gonna just grab me. Just I love this is the most important thing. And my sister, myself, we adore this thing to be in Australia, or I think one of the developing English countries, developed, which is like Canada and UK. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
there is still be some, the statistics in terms of crime, but from the place from where I came, country like India,
Mhm.
um, it's just the yeah, the women's are not safe there, and I still
Mm.
love this place in regards in terms of women's safety and
Yeah,
the women
good.
empowerment, how they put the women first. And I loved how my name was at the top when at my birth certificate, like not mine, like my son's. Whereas in India, they put father's name. And
Oh, I see.
yeah, yeah. And which is like the father didn't give, but it was mom who carried that child for 9 months. And
Mm, mm,
they fought for their life to get the baby in the world. And I
mm.
just love this, how they just give the priority and the privilege to the women and the mother here.
You feel
Whereas in
significant.
India, yeah, I feel important. I feel that women are important and they've been
Good
listened
on you.
more than men. And
Girl power. Girl
yeah,
power.
and I just love this thing, and this is the love, yeah, and I'll be always adore. And just this thing, this is just a very good thing from where I come from.
Wow.
Yeah, just
Such a
girl
big
power
leap for
here.
you, Navpreet. From this kind of like shell. You came up from that shell from
Yeah, and
your
I'm like
original country,
boom.
and now look at you, just flying like a
I was like
butterfly. Like you and Rain are very the
yeah,
same.
I
Different
was like
culture, but
calm,
wow,
polite girl. Like since I've been here, I just don't want to
party.
listen to anyone. I want to do
But
what
you're
I
still calm
want.
and polite enough, Pre.
I
I
am. I
reckon.
am. I'm a nice person at heart, and I
Yeah.
like talking to people. It's just like I'm not the same person as I was, like really being into just to my shell. Just
Mhm.
really want exposure, and I'm
Wow,
loving it. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
so
I
so
love
happy for you.
how I am now. I love it.
Great. You
Yeah.
find your life's purpose. Well done. And you, Rain, as well. My goodness. You know what? We should have 2 hours today, not just 1 hour. And I'm just kidding, TLC. I'm just kidding. So, you know what, guys? Let's pause for a while because I know we've
Yeah.
got lots of things to talk about as well.
Mhm.
But thank you for
Yeah.
that. We'll be right back, everyone, after this. there you have it, guys. You just have seen what a beautiful, investment, best to invest in 2021. Mega World, of course. And if you want to be a hotel unit owner with a worry-free investment, this is the right time. Wherever you are, whether you're in the Philippines, Australia, Canada, USA, in India, Nepal, if you want to be an investor, if you want to increase or boost your income, of course, one of the best choices in the world is Mega World. Okay, if you want to be you own a hotel unit as well, worry free investment. So that's it. For anything that you want to ask about Mega World, you can contact me as well in case, or I can redirect you to the right person. Now, going back to our topic for today, life after migration is about a journey, finding a life's purpose. I've got a question for these two beautiful young ladies here in front of us. Now, for Rain,
Yeah.
I'm curious about this. I'm
Uh-huh.
sure we can all
Okay.
relate for those who are migrants here in Australia or
Yeah.
anywhere in the world. If you have the best experience about being in Australia, what
Mm-hmm.
is or are the most unforgettable experience or experiences that you have encountered? Okay, you can summarize it because I think
Now, there's
30 minutes is
lots.
not enough.
There's lots, but I'll use Nav's experience of
Hmm.
riding the bus like you. I haven't had the opportunity to take the bus as like regular public transport.
That's
So
right. Yeah.
my very first time riding the bus in Melbourne to go to the Vic Roads place. So going there was fine because it was the last stop of the bus. But
Hmm.
going back to where I was staying in Montana at that time, I didn't realize that the bus stop didn't stop at every stop. And
Hmm.
so when the bus driver went through the stop, I panicked and I was like, Mama,
Oh my
para,
God.
what's happening?
Para
And then
para.
para, which is like stop in, to stop in Tagalog, which is
That's
like
right.
para is like, you're gonna go down. And then finally, the bus driver saw that I was so distraught that he pulled up on the next two stops over and then
Hmm.
turned to me and said, Vietnamese. So he thought,
You look Vietnamese to them.
so I think that was I think it was a fresh, fresh off the boat experience because I had no idea what to
Uh,
expect. I was like, and I didn't know. And then I didn't know that you could pull the cord or the buzzer or something to get it to stop. So that was, I think, a memorable experience that I could share. That's not so embarrassing, but also
a
really
bit funny in a
embarrassing
way,
at the
isn't it?
same time.
Para. Oh, I forgot. What's para in English?
It's like,
Stop.
how do you translate?
Stop.
I don't know. I panicked. I panicked.
True. Oh my goodness. But that's good, Rain. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah,
Funniest moments in Australia. And I'm sure there's some more. If you can think of some more later on, if we have more
yeah,
time, we
for
can share
sure.
that too. Because
If we have
it's
time,
real
I
talk
think we
today.
get, it's
Real
a good
talk today,
one. Yeah.
right? That's
Mhm.
good. Thanks, Rain. Now, Breed, what is or are
Mine.
the most unforgettable experience or
Um,
experiences here in Australia?
um, yeah, it's pretty transport related. I have never sat in train before, never been to railway station, even though we had a lot of railway stations. Never been to a railway station or never been in the train before. Like when I till 19 years since back in India, but when I was here, I had a chance to be on train, and then I didn't realize they can like sit from like back in front. And then because I was working at the Gola Hospital as a health for 5 months because I got a contract there. And that was my first time traveling there. So what I did, I sat there. I managed to get to the place and I finished my shift and I was coming back. So I got to the station and then I sat on the train. What happened? I sat on the train. Um, so it's going to be terminating at the one point, but it's going to go back to the same point where I just, boarded the train. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So it was
Yeah.
going back to Gola again.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't
Oh,
realize.
that's a long way.
Yeah. And I was there, then I was like, why the train's going this way? Or I'm sitting in the wrong place because sometimes the chair's like facing the front and sometimes there's some of the chairs were facing the backwards. And I'm like, maybe it's just my illusion. And then I realized, no, it's the same place. So I went almost like 10 minutes away from
a
Gola
round trip.
again. I have to get a new train then back from Gola. And then I
You're
went,
having
oh
a
my
tour.
God.
Well,
'Cause I
at
was
least
already tired
you
from
don't have to
work.
pay.
Yeah.
It's a round
And
That's
then
good. It is. But that was the funniest moment, right? And I can sympathize with the two of you because this has happened maybe 20 years ago.
Mhm.
I was in a different country, right? And it's all about transport as well. Well, you know, guys, if you're migrating to different countries, sometimes more often it's more on the transport, right? It's the unforgettable experience. And with that train, I thought that the exit doors are actually like with a sensor, but there wasn't any. I was just standing there and waiting, and then after a few minutes, it has to start again, and I have to get off from a different station,
Oh no! So
which is
you
like a
didn't
half
push
an
the
hour
button.
away.
You didn't
I
push
know.
the
I didn't
button,
even know that
Lee.
I have to press the button. And when it's blinking,
Like
I have to
me,
press the
you
button.
didn't know how to press the button.
In Tagalog,
what
tanga talaga.
happened?
You should have said Tara.
Oh,
Make
para,
me
para.
do-
Well, literally, I was running from a different cabin to another cabin. I was looking for that guy with the, with the bag that they have, that they do the tickets and all
the
that. I have
conductor,
to
the
run from
conductor that will
letter
help you. Yeah.
letter D to letter E, F, G. I was like, excuse me, hello, excuse me. I need to stop in that station, but it's already running. How do I do this? And then he said, you've got to press the button, hun. You've got to press the button. I didn't even know. I thought it's like I have to stand there and it's like automatic. It's not.
No,
So
no.
there you
It's
go.
lesson
It's
learned.
always it's lessons learned. But this
Okay.
was 20 years ago, and I can sympathize with you. It's all about
Sorry,
one
guys.
of those things are transport. It's okay now, Preet. Your little boy is awake. Sorry to wake you up.
Yeah,
Don't you
he's
worry.
up.
You're almost here. Almost
I was
done.
in the
Almost
other room.
done. And that's okay. My little one as well is like banging the door. She wants mommy, but that's fine. This is the fun thing about. I hope Rain's son is already sleeping. It's already almost 9 o'clock
Yeah,
here.
correct.
Hopefully,
He's with Daddy. Daddy
that's
is
good.
in charge of bedtime right now.
Thank God we've got
Oh,
good husbands, right? Looking after
I've got the
our
best
our
husband,
little
for
kids.
sure.
Well, we're very lucky, aren't we?
We're
Okay,
very
thank you
lucky.
so much.
yeah.
Okay. Now moving forward about this unforgettable experiences, and I wish
Mm,
we could have more time, right? It's all the transport, and I'm sure there's more that you can share if we have more time, maybe at
yeah,
the market, something like that you can say,
there's
you know.
lots for
But
sure.
yeah, yeah. Can you give me just a quick one before I move on to the next one? Last questions from the
Yeah.
audience as well. What else are you other apart from transport? Anything at the market or shopping
Uh,
center or
which I can't forget is when I got lost in the streets of Adelaide. They are just almost 4 streets, and I got lost when I just got here. And I was living at West Beach. I will never forget it. And I still remember there was just one bus used to leave at 7. That was the last bus from the city going to West Beach, J1, J2. And I was like,
yeah?
where's the Polton Street? And I was at the King William Street, Lee. And I was
Oh my
walking
goodness.
because I was wearing heels and I couldn't run because I was like, oh my God, it's going to be almost 7. And I took off my boots and I was running with my socks on the road. I can still remember.
That's
And I
hilarious.
remember running. I met a guy where the tram station is, where the Rundle Mall is, little intersection around the Hanley Street. And I met a guy and he was, I think, a migrant. I'm like, where's the Polton Street? I need to catch a bus. And he was like, I don't know, but I'm heading towards North Terrace. I can leave you there and then you can find your way from them. Like, okay. And I just
It's a
went
long
with
way.
him. And you know where Tiffany and Co is on the
Yes.
North Terrace, David Jones.
Yeah.
And then I know every single street now, but when I just got there and I was, going to see uni, and there are so many like this, and I can't remember. I'll tell my kids or grandkids when they will grow up.
Yeah.
And I left there, and I was having my shoes in my hands, like with the socks on the road, running, and I finally got a bus. and that was J1. And I
Yeah,
got
going to West.
to the Curry. I got to the Grenfell Street. I'm like, "Where's this bus going?" He's like, "Oh, it's gonna just stop. It's going to Glenelg." I'm like, "Oh my God, it's not going
It's
to."
another long way to go.
Yeah, it's not going to Military Road. Yeah, he said you need to catch J2. For J1, it
Bless
turns
you.
from Tapley Hills to Glenelg. It's not gonna go to West Beach. And I dropped off again on the Grenfell Street after all that
You love to have a
running
little
and
tour,
everything,
right?
going panic. Yeah. And then I got J2, and then my uncle was like, "Where were you?" You know how in India, or being an Indian, you know how your relatives or your parents are so overprotective. If it's like, because it was winter time, and the sun goes down by 5. And I just got
Yeah.
here like it was just a month ago, and my uncle was like, "Where were you? We've been calling you, and then because your uni is supposed to be finished at this time." And then
And
I
you're
was
still
like,
not
I was
home.
just panicked. I was with
Just
my
say you're having a little
friends.
tour.
Yeah. And yeah, I had so many like this when I just got lost and I didn't know where to go, because everything seemed so sort of odd. Even the buildings, this is how now even when your country or the area shouldn't be that, the architect, the
Yeah,
interior, it's so different. Every country you go, like Canada would be a little bit different from Australia, and UK would be
true.
different how they do the buildings. Like in India, it's not like that, and you feel so different for maybe few weeks or couple of months, and then
Yeah.
after some time you get used to things, and you be like, "Oh, no, this is my home." So when I visit my home country now, I feel this is my home, and I feel odd back home in India. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I feel like a guest there rather than being a native.
Yeah. Because
Because
this is your
yeah,
second
this
home
is
now.
how I feel. Yeah, I feel, no, I'm gonna go back
Wow.
because these are the streets really belong to me. Yeah, this is how I
Well
feel.
done. Thanks for
Yes.
that, Navpreet. How about you, Rain? Before I move on to the next
The
question
next
from the
ones. No,
yeah.
I think, well, I'll try to make it really short, but in in the Philippines, when we had to send mail, we used to just leave it with the security guard and things like
Yeah.
that. So the concept of, I guess, the post and the process of mail didn't really hit me. So when back then I had a roommate, a flatmate, Bridget, and we were renting a townhouse.
Yeah.
And because it was a townhouse, all the mailboxes were outside at the gates. And I kept getting mail from the previous tenant, and it kept coming to my place. So my then boyfriend, my husband now, my boyfriend, I asked him, I said, "What do I do? There's a mail for Muhammad here. Muhammad doesn't live here anymore. What do I do?" And
Mhm.
there was like stacks, like six, seven. And so he's like, "You just put return to sender." So I said I did. I painstakingly wrote return to sender on every single envelope. And when we were going out on a Friday night on date night, he reversed out of the townhouse, and I told him to stop right in front of our gate
Yeah.
where we were and where all the mailboxes were. So I grabbed the 7, 8 stack of letters for Muhammad and put it in my mailbox, because after I put return to sender. And I went back to the car,
Oh my
and
god.
my husband, who was born
Oh
raised
my
here, who's Australian, looked at me like, and he's like, "Are you? What was that?" I said, "What do you mean? What do you mean? What was that? Let's go. We're gonna be late for the movie." And then he was like, "No, seriously, what just happened?" And then so and he had to explain to me. He's like, "Babe, if I didn't think you're very smart, but what did you just do?" I said, "You told me to put return to sender on the mail, and then I put it in the mailbox." And so he just ended up laughing now. He's like, "Do you think the postman will go to every single mailbox? Not only is it illegal, but grab your mail. No, you have to go to the post office and post it there
Exactly.
and everything
Exactly.
else." So that's so I didn't get lost, but that was
Oh
my
my god.
Well,
story.
at least you've been very helpful returning to sender.
return to
Yeah.
sender.
Manually.
And yeah,
Manually.
I can never live that down. Every time I tell everyone just end up laughing and they couldn't
Oh my
believe
God. You
it.
can tell
And
your
yeah,
son that when he
because
grows a
it's
bit
different.
older.
It's different in the Philippines. I never had to send mail. I just left it with the guard and they'll take care
Yeah.
of it. So
True, true.
yeah.
Well, that's the best thing as well. Funniest moment as well. If you're migrating or in a different
Yeah.
country, you learn, you laugh, and
And
you
you
just,
laugh at
keep
yourself,
going.
really. That's what
That's
it is.
right.
You
That's
laugh at
right.
yourself now
Yeah.
and you grow from
That's
it.
part of growing.
And you
Amen to
learn not to
that.
take yourself too seriously, Lee. I
That's
think.
right. And you
You
can
just laugh.
humor whatever you do. You can create a humor out of it. Well done. Beautiful ladies in front of me. Now, ladies. Now, ladies.
Yeah.
If you want to go back to like many many years ago, is there anything or are there anything you want to change or are you happy right now? Rain.
No, I don't think everything that I went through, all the challenges,
Mm-hmm.
heartaches, failures, everything only made me stronger and made me appreciate what I have today. So I'm just
Beautifully
very
said.
grateful for everything and very thankful for all the blessings.
Thank you, Rain, for that. Whew, a mature lady now. Well done. Now, Preet, how about you? Is there anything you want to change if you look back?
Um, I'll
Any
just
regrets?
probably agree. Yeah, I'm agree with Rain. I think there's nothing I want to change. Um, yeah, I had a lot of challenges and yeah, failures and
Mhm.
cries, and you feel isolated sometimes,
Right.
and I have overcome all of that and become a stronger version at least, yeah, than I was
Wow, I love that.
before. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I've been a very mentally and emotionally a strong person, which I wasn't at all. And I
Yeah.
have started improving myself. Being an overthinker person, shouldn't be doing that. So a lot
Mm-hmm.
of things which I've improved. The challenges. I think
Mm-hmm.
the age
Good.
doesn't come with the maturity. The maturity doesn't come with the age. It comes what you learn, the
What you
mistakes you
learned.
do,
Love that.
and you
Mm,
learn from them, and you
mm,
can guide your siblings or any of your friends or anyone who is seeking any of any opinion or help what you've been gone through. You can
great.
just give them a hint. You can just
You
give
can
them a little
share.
part,
Yeah.
so you can just like my sister, there are a lot of things I've learned, and I end up telling her, don't do that. It's been this many years I've been here, and people do this to this, so
Mm,
beware. And then sometimes when she wasn't used to listen, she didn't used to listen to me when she was initially here, but those things happened, which I warned
mm,
her, and then now she thinks, no, my sister's right. So because I've faced it, I've learned
that's
from
right.
it, and I'm telling her not to do that. Maybe do this now.
That's
So
right.
yeah, it's a good thing.
Experience.
You feel like an old immigrant, and you have a lot of things to learn,
You're
and you
guiding
can just
others.
tell that other person, which is
Yeah.
which is a plus point. Yeah.
Good. Good on you. You have to pay it forward. You've started from scratch before, and someone again is coming over here in Australia. You can be a good guide. You can be like, hey, when it comes to transport,
Yeah,
make
of
sure you
course.
know,
You know
all of these
what?
things, train station, things like that. Say
Yeah,
para
you know what,
para
Lee?
if they're in the
Everyone
Philippines from the Philippines.
in my home country, they give me a call. Oh, you're in Australia. Can you give us a bit of guide? What you studied, what should we study, and how do you go?
Hmm.
Which state's good? So I won't say I'm an expertise in this, but I can still give them sort of satisfied information so they can
Yeah.
make a good
Good.
decision,
Good on
rather
you.
than just saying, oh, I don't know anything, just decide, or just ask any of the agents around. I
That's
just
right.
give them a bit, just be aware of fraudulent agents. Be careful. You choose
That's
a
right.
right and
That's right.
legit person to
Hmm.
file your whoever your scholarship, your COE with the
Hmm.
uni. If you're eligible for scholarship, find a good or legit agent, so you can,
Yeah.
if you're eligible for scholarship, so because you have earned it, so you should be
Yeah.
using that here rather than
Good. Good.
paying the fees. So these are the little things you can help them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, Preet, don't forget if they need more help, you can can shoot me an email. give me a
Yeah.
buzz as well, Navpreet.
Yeah.
When it comes to education all over Australia, you can send them to me and I'll assist them as well, whether it's
Oh,
uni or
yeah,
tech.
sure.
Let me know.
Yeah.
And of course, when it comes to legit as well, where else can you go? It's Way to Oz as well, ladies and gentlemen. So reach out to me. So Navpreet, if anything that you want to help me and assist you with, like your friends and other,
Yeah.
old colleagues back home. So you'll never know. Just reach out, okay? Great
Yeah.
job. Now, I would like to ask you, beautiful ladies, since you've got a beautiful journey and you've found your life's purpose, if you're going, Rain, I would like to ask you, if you're going to write a book, what would it be? What could be the title, for
Um,
example?
it's
Your next
actually,
Navpi, don't you worry.
yeah, I think it would be Raining Grace. I actually already have a column with the Philippine Times that has that
Nice.
same column name. So it's still really, as I've said, it's really about being thankful for life's blessings and still continuing to look at the positive. And I think
Love
that's
that.
really what life is about. You just need to find a way to
Mhm.
have joy in life and
Yep.
look at what your reason is really, like what is your
Yeah.
life's purpose. And I think once you have that, then everything else will fall into place.
Beautiful. I love that, raining grace. Being, thankful for all the blessings. Well done,
Mm.
Rain. And Rain, before I ask Navpreet about this as well, about the book, Navpreet, I know you're ready. But Rain, someone's asking, since Navpreet is a nurse, okay, what do you do for a living? What profession?
I am a I'm a manager, so that's
Uh-huh.
what I do. So I currently manage about, I don't know, 350 to 400 people. So I
There's a lot.
basically I tell as I love telling my husband, I tell people what to do, and I think it comes naturally in a nice way. So strategy. So I am the eldest of 7 kids, so I have a natural ability to, I think, be a little bit bossy, but all for, and as my siblings will
Professionally.
tell you, it would be all for their own good. And I'm sure Nav is like that with her sister as well. Like what you said, like because you already know how things are going to go. So yes, currently
Well
working as
done.
a manager
Very
for
good.
a one of the largest retail companies in Australia. Yes.
Great. Congratulations for that. Wow. You're not just amazing ladies, we're also boss ladies, right?
I
Navpreet.
try.
Navpreet, if you're going to write a book, we're almost done, ladies and gentlemen. We just want to make sure because it's a beautiful journey. If you're going to write a book now, what would it be? Any title in
um
mind?
all right, guys, first disregard the wall. That's my little one who made all the creative drawing there.
It's a good
um yeah, the
painting there, right?
helicopter, which is not a helicopter, just yeah. um I think I thought break the bubble. That's, because it's since, when you like, see, um so you gotta, just get some exposure. Like the
Mhm.
person like me, it's just not me. There are a lot of people
Yeah.
you meet, and then
Someone needs
you
to
be
be.
like, no, the things, the strategies, and what worked for you. I think I want to write that.
Sure.
So
Wow.
just getting the wings, and because my father wasn't happy for me to come Australia. He never wanted to, as Rennie was saying, how protective they are. um didn't want to leave the country. He was like, no, it's just yeah. And my mum said, that's okay if she want to go out, because I never wanted to do my further studies in India, because I knew if I study there, I can study in the best uni. But the thing is, what I'm gonna do about my degrees? What if
Yeah.
I don't make use of it? Because I know I can't work. I can't work in India because also there are no jobs. If I do,
Hmm.
the place is not safe for women. What if I'm working too late? I just
Sure.
want to, just don't want to put that pressure on my parents, or just I just wanted to be like happy, even if
Hmm.
I'm working, not like being scared all the time. Oh, it's so late, I'm gonna go home, and then my parents be calling me, where are you? And but here is like, it's so
You
good.
have that
It's
freedom.
just the freedom I
Yeah.
have. The
That's why
freedom.
breaking the bubble. What's the
Yeah.
book again?
Break the
Breaking the
bubble.
bubble.
Yeah.
Break the
Break.
Breaking the
bubble.
bubble.
Yeah.
Breaking, literally
Yeah.
breaking the bubble. No, I'm just kidding. But break the bubble is good. It's like really coming out from your shell. And
Oh,
look at you
breaking.
now,
Yeah.
independent
Just.
woman, not bossy, but independent woman.
Yeah.
Independence.
But the two of
Exactly.
you really good putting together Navpreet and Rain. Amazing ladies in front of each one of us. And of course, with that Navpreet, if that book and Rain, if that book is out, let us know so you can also maybe sign a bit of your wisdom there in
Oh,
the book. Okay,
We'll
congratulations in
send you.
advance.
We'll send one to you, Lee, for sure.
There you
We'll
go.
send you
Thank
a
you, ladies and gentlemen.
copy.
You've just heard that. I've got a free book from both of them. Thank you so much. So, Raining Grace and Break the Bubble. Well done. Congratulations in advance, okay, with
yeah.
that book. Now, Albert here wants to say hello, watching from Bacoor City. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. And Brother Bibo said, I can relate to that lols. Okay, I think that's what's about the transfer a while ago. And TNL Argos is actually watching from the watching your beautiful show. Thank you so much for that, TNL. I don't know what's your name, but thank you. And Loretta says here, thank you, Alan Bryn Yi of Davao City, for watching. And again, Bibo said, since Australia is always good to us, what are the ways on how you give back to the community? There's a question here quickly. Oops, I think we gotta
A little bit of overtime, but yes,
yeah, a
let's
little bit of
keep it
overtime, but
going.
it's up to you if you want to answer that quickly, maybe just as 30 seconds of that, please.
Okay, so I regularly volunteer in the community. Actually, prior, I was a volunteer for the Philippine Consulate for around about 11 years, and just really reaching out and helping out to anyone who is in need. And similar to Navpreet, I do share my experiences and just really want to share positive stories just to motivate people and make sure that their mental health is well looked after, and just doing a little bit, whatever that we can do, and whatever we can share, that's what we're doing right now.
Wait for it. Well done, Rain. How about you, Navpreet? Just a quick one. How can you give back to the community?
So we have little groups on WhatsApp, like in Indian community. We have a lot of Facebook legit pages. We just got Indians in Adelaide or different communities where people can ask questions if they need help with the money, grocery, like back in the pandemic and with COVID, people didn't have food. Not just Indians. I think it's open to everyone. There are a lot of different diversity. It's pretty diversified, the page. And then we posted, people post that if you need any money assistance with rent, food, we're there to help. So they just put their number, and then even if they don't want to say their name, so they can just put a message on Messenger, like a DM, and then we can post it whatever they need. And then people do come up in the comments, and we say, DM in the inbox if they really want to help in regards to money, food, anything, like rent assistance, car. Like there's so many immigrant students who don't have car, and they they want to travel to work. So we say, oh, we have got a spare car sitting at home, and we don't want to, like, if they don't have money, we can just give them out because it's spare. Like, so that sort of stuff, I think we can give back to community. We have a little page, which is Indians in Adelaide, and we have pages on WhatsApp where people just come forward and help each other in terms of the daily amenities we really need as a human being.
So if you want to know anything about this, guys, wherever you are, please reach out to me so I can also let Rain and Navpreet know how that you can contact them when it comes to helping others as well, especially those who are student migrants as well here in Australia.
Yeah,
now, guys,
I want to mention one more thing.
Sure.
Sometimes back in India or anything, they can go to that page, Indians in Adelaide, and there are so many other pages. They can Indians in Adelaide is the best one. If they're coming to South Australia, they can text if they want to have a room before they come here. So they arrive here and they have a shelter to live rather than they can just text and they have already a shelter or a place to go. They're coming from all the way, like thousands of miles.
And you
you
can
know.
assist them.
So this is a good thing, you know, if they worry about where to go, because sometimes most of the migrants don't have a family or friends here.
Right.
So it's a good thing. You can go to that page and just do a DM on Messenger, and then people do help and come forward.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And even Filipinos are doing that too.
Yeah.
Anywhere in Australia, there's so many good sort of like community of Filipinos, not just from India, Filipinos and other. It's multi-diversified, as you have mentioned a while ago. But thank you for that, Navpreet and Rain. We'll be right back after this. Before we wrap this up, okay? We'll be right. There you go, guys. For legitimate assistance, you know where to contact waytouz.com, and it's all on your screen and running in front of your screen. Okay, ladies and
Which
gentlemen.
card?
Now, as we wrap this up, I just want to ask each one of you just a very brief message to all our future migrants, whether they're student visa or any visa that they're coming to Australia. Let's start with you, Rain. A brief message before I wrap this up.
I
Thank
think the brief message really is to know, just really in life, not even just for migrants, is to just really know who you are, and make sure that, you know, when you set goals for yourself, they're
Baby
achievable
go.
goals, and
Baby
you
go.
just need to find the way to make them happen. So I guess never take no for an answer is my
That's right.
one thing, and never give up. Never give up on your dreams. So whatever they may be, big or small, it only starts with taking that first step. So that's like my message to all. But I do have, I guess I'll let you wrap up with Nav as well. But I do have another message, but yeah, that's for later. So all good,
That's
Lee.
that's okay. Navpreet, what's your very brief message before I wrap this up?
In regards to the people
The
who are
whole
coming
thing
here,
coming here, yeah.
is that they're going to face a lot of challenges. You know, the life is full of challenges because it's a new place, but they're going to have a lot of support. They're going to have, sorry guys,
That's
they're
okay.
going to have,
There's a real life in when you're outside of your country. Like you don't have any nannies to look after your kids. You've got to multitask. Yes.
yeah, yeah.
That's true.
There are going to be a lot of challenges, and then there's a lot of support as well. Even if you at uni, is they, you know, they got student portals. I really apologize, guys. It's just woke up and he's just being
That's okay. That's all right. I'll give you the time to be with your son. Are you okay with your message, Navpreet, before we wrap this up? Because I think there's another program after this now. Anything
yeah.
else, Navpreet? All good? Be ready with your challenges. And Rain said, never give up on your dreams, guys. And of course, we don't want to give up this 1 hour, and we've all got an overtime. But thank you so much, Rain and Navpreet, for coming into the
Thank
show,
you.
inspiring people, especially those who have already started or maybe
There you go. There you
thinking
go.
of going into a student. I mean, what having this visa, student visa in the future. Never give up on your dream. Just go there and explore the world. And of course,
Yeah,
there are communities out there who can support
and
you as well. And
correct.
at this time, I would like to also let you know that I've got please follow my YouTube channel. It's Motivationally, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. And also on Instagram, I'm there as well as Motivationally, and Facebook page, Motivationally, Twitter, as well as Motivationally. And I've got now a website called www.motivationally.com, and you can see and you can watch all my videos there as well on YouTube, as well as all my services as a life coach and my other services as well. But again, Rain, I would love to speak to you more, but we don't have much time. And Navpreet, thank you so much. Guys,
Thanks, Lee.
everyone in the world, thank you so much for dropping by. See you again next week. We've got a
See you
beautiful
next
topic on
time.
migration. Our next week's topic is all about partner visa or fiancé visa. Please come next week, 8 p.m. Melbourne time. Wherever you are, please adjust. We'll see you again next week with Niti partner visa. Thank you so much, Rain and
All right.
Preet. Have
See
a
you,
good day.
everyone, and hello to my family. Bye. Bye.
Hello, and thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, the power of determination will make you unstoppable. So don't forget that. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.